Okay, so we wrote this. Now we're going to graph it really quick. And then our y-intercept is 3, so we'll put a point at 3 on the y-axis. And then the slope is -4, so that's down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1. There it is. Then just connect your dots. And that's your line. Okay, for the next 3, we're just going to write the equation. Y equals 3x minus 8. Y equals 3/7 x. In this case, they gave you the coordinates for the y-intercept. Again, if you looked at that on the graph, it would just be at 1 as the y-intercept, so plus 1. And then same for this one, y equals -2/5 x minus 6. And you're good. Okay, those were pretty easy. Now we're going to try it with point slope form. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. This here is x1, y1. And then we're going to plug in our numbers. So y minus 2 equals the slope of 2 and x minus 5. Next one, same process. This one's a little bit different. When you subtract -4, it looks like this, and we're going to turn that into an addition symbol in a second. So y minus -4 equals slope of -3, and then x minus 2. We're not going to leave this looking like this. So when you subtract a negative, it's add the opposite. It just becomes y plus 4 equals -3 to x minus 2. And this is the actual answer. When you pull those points out, if you were to graph it, this would be a +2 for the x, and then a -4 for the y, because it is the opposite of whatever's there. Okay, number 7. Y minus, can't see, or what's that? Okay. Y minus 5 equals -1/2 is a slope, and then x minus -2, which would just be x plus 2. So to graph it, we have our slope. To grab the point on the line, our x would be -2, and our y is +5. I'm going to draw a coordinate plane. This is the one we're graphing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so point on the line is -2, 5. So I'm going to go to -2, 5, put a point. And then the slope is -1/2. So down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, and then graphing the line. Okay. And number 8. This one, we're just going to put it into the equation. So y minus -8 would just be +8. Our slope is 1/3. And then x minus -3 is just x plus 3. And that is it in point slope form. And again, if you needed to, you could rearrange that and make it in y-intercept form. For example, for number 8, if I was to distribute that 1/3 to get 1/3 x plus 1, subtract 8 from both sides, you get y equals 1/3 x minus 7. And you could graph that instead if you wanted to. Okay, now the next section, it says write an equation in slope-intercept form for each line shown or described. So number 9, it wants you to write the equation for line R right here. Well, the y-intercept is at 3, so B is 3. We need to find the slope. The slope of R, what happened? The slope of R, grab 2 points that intersect exactly at an x and y line. Here I'm using these two. It's going up 3 over 3. So that would just equal 1. So the slope for line R is 1. Then to write that in slope-intercept form, y equals x plus 3. Number 10 for S, the y-intercept is at 2, so B is 2. And then our slope for that, just going to choose 2 points. I'll choose these 2 points. It's going down 2 over 1. So slope would be negative 2 over 1, which just simplifies to negative 2. So y equals negative 2x plus 2. I'm going to skip 11 and 12 and move to 13. 13, it wants a line parallel to R that contains 1, negative 1. Well, a line parallel to line R would have the same slope, and our slope for R was 1. So it would look like y equals x plus a number, but we don't know what that y-intercept is. So we're going to have to use point slope form and then change it into this format. So y minus the y, which is negative 1. The slope is going to be 1, and then x minus 1. Now I'm going to get it into slope-intercept form. Y plus 1 equals x minus 1. Subtract 1. Get y equals x minus 2. So by using point slope form, I could put just a random point on the line, and I didn't need the y-intercept, and then I could change it into this, and the y-intercept is negative 2. I know this is where I'm starting to lose you. Okay. The next one, a line perpendicular to line S that contains point 0, 0. In this case, 0, 0 is actually the y-intercept, so I don't need to go through the point slope format. The slope for a perpendicular line to S would have a negative reciprocal slope. So our slope for line S slope was negative 2. So a line perpendicular to that would have a slope of positive 1/2. So therefore, our equation for the line is y equals 1/2 x plus 0, but we don't write the plus 0. Just leave it like this. Then they give us a break with 15, 16. Just write y equals 6x minus 2. Y equals negative 5/3 x plus 0, but we don't write the plus 0, so that's it for that. 17, 0, negative 6, that is a y-intercept. So writing it in slope-intercept form would just look like this. Then 18, it tells us that it contains that point. That's not the y-intercept. So we have to use point slope form. So y minus our y, which is 5, equals 4 times x minus 2. Then we can rearrange it to slope-intercept form. So y minus 5 equals 4x minus 8. Add 5 to both sides. Y equals 4x plus 3. The last two, I don't want to leave them out because it's a good, like, what if type situation. The only way to really do it is to graph them though. So for 19, I'm just going to draw a coordinate plane and quickly graph those points. I have 2, 0, and 0, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's the 2 points. Y equal, I need to find the slope. It's going down 10 over 2. So negative 10 over 2 would be negative 5. So my slope is negative 5x plus the y-intercept, which I can see on my graph, is 10. And that's that answer. Then the very last one, it just tells us that x-intercept is negative 2. So I'll put a point there, and y-intercept is negative 1. Well, there's my line. It's going down 1 over 2, so that's negative 1/2 x as a slope. And then the y-intercept is negative 1. On the homework, for whatever reason, it gives you a picture that doesn't always go along with the description. Always go with the description. If it's not on the graph, the picture just doesn't even go with that problem. There will be more questions with this homework, so make sure you're raising your hand and getting the help with certain problems. So you can get a computer, get started, and then